Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the regular council meeting on Monday, November 14th, 2022, 6 o'clock, and we're in the council meeting room. So we're live, open to the public to come and watch the meeting. And it's also videoed, and the webinar will be recorded and posted to the city's YouTube site. So on the agenda tonight, the number one, adoption of the minutes. We have two sets of meeting minutes. The first set is from the regular council meeting, October the 11th of 2022. And the second set of meeting minutes is the inaugural meeting of November 7th at 2022. So the recommendation before you is that the minutes of the regular council meeting held October 11th, 2022, and the inaugural meeting held November 7th, 2022 be adopted as circulated. Can I have someone make that motion? Councillor Martin, thank you. Is there a seconder? Councillor Benson, thank you. All those in favor? Opposed, unanimous. Thank you. Is there anyone online publicly with any questions tonight?
Your worship, we have two people joining us online tonight, so your popularity is already waning. But there doesn't seem to be at this point in time. I don't see any hands up with any.
Okay, thank you.
And no one in the gallery, obviously.
No.
Your worship.
Thank you. So item number 3, communications. We have an update on the conditions attached to the 1456 Bay Avenue temporary use permit extension. The recommendation is that council receive the report for information, and I'll just pass this on to CAO McClure to give us an update.
Certainly. Thank you, Mayor Jones. I know that for many on this council, this was something that sort of predates your time here, but there was a lot of input publicly and online as far as the 1-year temporary use permit that I've been provided for the shelter. It had come up for renewal. Now, council has been concerned, especially with it being in the downtown area. Well, again, that was the feedback certainly that we were getting also from the public and businesses. The question was, on a temporary use permit, you can extend it for one time for a maximum of 3 years. So one of the things that council was working on was listening to the public and hearing that they wanted it out of the downtown core. Members of council and the mayor were down at UBCM. We worked with the Minister of Housing as well as BC Housing when we were down there, and we since work and came back when we were after the meeting was over in September, and got to a place where there was a comfort level with BC Housing that they were finding a location outside of the downtown zone. That I think gave a lot of confidence when they came and presented to council that the allowing a 1-year temporary use permit on this particular site, knowing that the hope is that it would be moved sooner than October of 2023, but also recognizing that we didn't have a solution. And there was a lot of concern, obviously, from some in the public and certainly at the council table that we didn't want to close a needed shelter in our community and have that many more people not having a warm place and a warm meal. So council was willing to provide that 1-year extension, but there were a couple of let's say conditions that were provided, understanding that council doesn't really have the ability, once that temporary use permit is in place, to, it's a legal battle to get it to close down, if that makes any sense. Doesn't mean you couldn't, but it's not like an automatic, you didn't meet this condition on this date and now we can take back, revoke it. That doesn't work that way. But there was certainly concern from the fire department, and they were, through BC Housing and the shelter operator, committed to having or needing to have a fire or a life safety plan that was approved by the fire chief of the regional district. And they have that in principle. And you see that in my notes. There's a couple of things that certainly the fire chief wants, and they are committed in doing. It's just that with some of the challenges we're facing with supply chain and whatnot, we've got some of the wiring in apparently, but we don't have the pole stations. There's a couple other things that they are procuring at this time, with the expectation that in the near future, those will be dealt with and the fire chief will be fully satisfied. Right now, he's given it with the basis of the work that they've done, whether that's the training, the plan with staff, but he's still got some concerns and there's some work to be done on that. The second one had to do with having a 8-to-8 coverage. And that was something that, again, had been previously there, but they were having a hard time with staffing, which again, isn't something that we are hearing a lot of in our, not just our community, but across the province and getting employees. They have since, as the report notes, that they hired some additional staff. And in fact, starting tonight, there should be that coverage of 8-to-8. Now, one error that I made in providing the recommendation to council that I speak to is that I use October 31st, sort of thinking that was 1 month away, but probably not the brightest move as far as us not having a council meeting that would correspond with BC Housing being able to attend. So I probably, what I should have said was, you know, BC Housing will come and report on this as soon as possible in November, sort of thing. That being said, they are wanting to come and talk to council, not just only about this, but about other things that they're working on as far as the homeless shelter and supportive housing. And we are scheduling them for a visit. They'll probably join us right here on this screen here on October or November 28th. So I'm feeling that, you know, we're not totally done, but again, even the motion on the conditions was what's their commitment to getting this done. So the fact that we are moving in that direction should give council some confidence that they are working towards what they committed to doing. And I would hope that we're meeting in 2 weeks that that some of this will be completed. Maybe not all. They're still waiting on things for the fire components, but based on what the shelter operator is saying, starting today, there should be 8-to-8. So, you know, we should see that being played out. So, Mayor Bush, if there's any questions, I'm happy to take them. We also haven't moved it yet.
Oh. Oh, so I guess I need a motion to move the recommendation. Tia, thank you. Councillor Benson, thank you. Is there a seconder? Councillor Butler, thank you. Any questions or comments for CEO McClure?
Yeah, Mr. McClure, one question. On November 28th, can we expect then to find out where this new temporary location will be?
Great question. They are still working through some legalities. They have a spot in mind. They are working with the building inspection group at the RDKB for the units that they want to put in for this temporary place, and does it fit, and what needs to be done for having the life safety attached to that, sprinklers and those sorts of questions. So we are in the process of working on that. I'm not 100% sure, but as soon as we're able to, we certainly will be rediscussing it. So again, the only reason I say that, I'm not trying to hide about anything, but if it's not going to work on this site, I would hate to come and say it's here and then come back to you or tell the public and disappoint them and say it's not going to work there. So prefer to be able to say we're committed, we've got this going at this location. But yes, my hope is potentially, but if not, maybe even in, you know, by the meeting in December, we have that would be my time frame. I'm hoping that we've got that solidified.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments for CEO?
I just have one comment that the CDS was doing a drive for coats for the vulnerable population, and they said that the outreach from the community has been excellent, and what they are in need for now is toques and mittens. So if anyone is able to donate.
Thank you, Councillor Benson. And thank you, CEO McClure, for that update. It's just really good for the community to hear that we're working with the shelter and, you know, trying to make sure that it's a safe place for everybody. And thanks for that update. I already passed the motion, right? Okay. So all those in favor of the recommendation? Opposed? Unanimous. Thank you. So item number 3.2 is proclamation Adoption Awareness Month. The recommendation before you is that council proclaim November 2022 Adoption Awareness Month in the city of Trail. Can I have a motion or someone make that recommendation, please?
So moved.
Counselor Martin, second Counselor Benson. Any questions or comments on this proclamation? So all those in favor? Opposed, seeing none? Thank you. That was unanimous. Okay, on to our council committee reports. I will start with Counselor Benson first.
Thank you, Your Worship. So we've had a busy few weeks as a newly formed council, and I'd like to speak to the spectacular event that was held on October 29th that I attended with my fellow councillors. You may have seen us around looking like scarecrows and one judge. It was an extremely well attended event, and it was a beautiful day. The weather was absolutely just shining down on us. And I'd like to just acknowledge the city staff and our partners for putting on such a great event. Andrea Jolly, the events and communication events coordinator for the City of Trail, another outstanding job with our partners, the Trail Incredible Farmers Market. So thank you very much to everybody, and I hope everyone had a really good time.
Great, thank you. Any questions or comments for Counselor Benson? Okay, we'll move on to Counselor Butler, please.
Thank you. So on behalf of council, on the 29th of October, I attended the 44th Field Engineer Squadron departure with dignity ceremony. I'd again like to extend my thanks to the 6 retiring service members, Major Robertson, Captain Fife, Sergeant Click, Corporal Gus, Corporal Helgrant, and Corporal Schmidt. Their commitment to trail and of course the nation, our nation, is most appreciated. Later that afternoon, I returned downtown to participate along with everyone here at the table in the citywide spectacular event. And as a participating merchant, I'd just like to point out how many chocolate bars and bags of chips we handed out. So we handed out 290 large chocolate bars and 185 bags of chips with no doubling up. So as one of the merchants furthest from the event, I mean, that number is quite substantial. Nearly 500 children would have stopped by on that day, and I think that only reflects a portion of actually who was all there. Indeed, this was a wonderful and big event, and I would also like to thank city staff, especially Andrea Jolly, for her her hard work at bringing Spectacular back. That's the end of my report, Mayor Jones. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor Butler. Any questions or comments for Counselor Butler? Okay, we will move on to Counselor Cashel.
Thank you, Mayor Jones. I just want to publicly thank and acknowledge on behalf of council, Mayor Morrell and staff, in particular Brian Tisdale, for hosting and facilitating the inaugural event, which happened on November the 3rd. This was a historic moment for Trail. This was the very first time we participated with Fruitvale, Montrose, Warfield, and Roslyn in this event. And I think it shows more than just symbolism, but it just shows that we are really willing and wanting to continue to build relationships with our regional municipality partners. And it was a great honor to be there. In particular, I want to acknowledge and thank Judge Robert Brown for doing an astounding job in performing the swearing-ins. So thank you very much. And that's all I have, Your Worship.
Thank you, Counselor Cashel. Any questions or comments for Counselor Cashel? I just want to comment that it was a great event. It was so nice to see all the other communities there and the families, and they really did a really nice job of it. And yeah, I don't know if it's a tradition that will continue, but it was one that was really respected by the other communities. They were happy to see us up there. Okay, to Counselor Hanson, please.
Well, while I was unable to attend the inauguration with all of you and our partners due to the date change, I was proudly sworn in advance of the inauguration on the 28th at the Roslyn Courthouse by Judge Brown as well. And I wanted to thank council for their support, the ones that did come and the ones that sent their best wishes that couldn't attend on short notice. Also, I recently attended with the rest of council the Remembrance Day ceremony, and the feedback I received from the Legionnaires and other community members was that they were thrilled at our attendance as a whole. They shared that it's been ages since they've seen all of council attend this event, and it spoke volumes that, you know, in our community of our commitment. So it was really nice feedback to hear on behalf of all of us. So thank you. That'll be all.
Thank you. Any questions or comments for Councillor Hanson? Okay, thank you. Mayor or Councillor Martin.
Thank you, Your Worship. I attended the inaugural meeting of the Regional District of Kootenay Boundary last week on November the 9th. All the directors were sworn in, and during that meeting, it was Linda Worley, who was the Area B director, was sworn in as the board chair. And Area C director Grace McGregor was sworn in as the board vice chair. It was a very quick meeting. I got a schedule today, so it looks like it's going to get a bit busier, but that's good. I also attended the regional elected official swearing in ceremony in Rosslyn, the Spooktacular, and the Remembrance Day service last week. And that's it for my report.
Thank you, Councillor Martin. Any questions or comments? Councillor Wilson.
Nothing to report for me, Mayor Jones.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Councillor Wilson. Okay, so my report, I'm not going to repeat, everything that everybody's already said, because we were all there. We all participated. It was great, but I do want to comment though on the Remembrance Day event, because it was just commented so much how everybody enjoyed seeing us in the parade and then at the Legion, and just to see our participation like that. They were really, really proud to see us out there. So thank you to all of council for your attendance. And I feel like it's really important for our community to be doing events like this so they can see us out there, and being a part of the community. Just a quick report on, the event that we did today in council. We did a full day of leadership training and strong governance, workplace conflict resolution with Tracy Larson from Paragon Strategic Services. All of council fully participated in the workshop, and the goal is to continue to improve our ability to represent the council, our city, and our community moving forward. And just to remind everybody of the pictures tomorrow for the headshots down in the front hallway. We're all scheduled for tomorrow. So, and that is my report. So do I need a motion to receive the reports?
Your Worship, I don't see that we do,
Okay.
but I'll find out later.
Yes. Thank you. Okay, on to item number 5 is the consent agenda. And the report on the invoices paid for municipal services, October 1st to October 31st, 2022. And the recommendation is that the items on the consent agenda be received for information. Can I have that motion, please? Thank you, Councillor Hanson. Is there a seconder? Councillor Butler, all those in favor? Unanimous, thank you. Next on the agenda, number 7 is the department reports. We have 7.1, the Regional District Kootenay Boundary Building Department, September 2022. And the second report we have is the Regional District Kootenay Boundary Report, October 2022. So the recommendation is that these reports be received for information. Can I get that motion? Councillor Martin, seconded by Councillor Cashel. Is there any questions or comments on these reports? Okay, so all those in favor of the reports as presented? Thank you. That was unanimous. Okay, and the last item on the agenda is adjournment. If I could get someone to make that motion, Councillor Hanson. Thank you. Benson, there's no debate. Thank you.